Have to wait for that because the Greens' Adam Bandt has just stepped up.
I want to talk about, but Scott may have to go back in for a division, so we'll do it in that order if that's all right. Well, the Parliament has just adjourned with the Minister saying that after days of negotiations an agreement has been reached with Labor to amend the Internet and Smartphone Surveillance Bill. All of 20 seconds ago, the copies of 30 pages worth of amendments were given to us, and apparently we're expected to digest them and vote on them within the space of half an hour or so. Tony Abbott and Labor have done a backroom deal on internet and smartphone surveillance laws and are saying to the public and the Parliament, just trust us, it'll be all right. But if you can't trust Tony Abbott to tell the truth on the budget or with his pre-election promises, why on earth would we trust him on this? Labor may be prepared to roll over as long as Tony Abbott tickles their tummy, but the Greens aren't. The Greens will stand up for the right of every Australian citizen not to be treated as a criminal suspect. These new laws will give significant powers to the government to monitor where people are and who they're talking to, even though you're not suspected of having done anything wrong. And there's been no suggestion that any of the amendments talked about so far are going to give any greater degree of protection to the public. I might hand over to Scott.
Thanks, Adam. Well, I can't remember, I've been working in this building for nearly 10 years, and I cannot remember a time where the government brought forward a bill that they can't tell the public, the taxpayers, to within the nearest $100 million what it's going to cost or who's going to pay. Ultimately, we will all pay either through our taxes or through higher data charges. And whether you can believe this or not, the House of Representatives just spent the last couple of days debating a bill subjected to dozens of very detailed amendments that not a single one of them have read. And I think it's an appalling way to treat the Parliament. Bill Shorten appears to have done a handshake deal with Tony Abbott in the dead of night to throw this beleaguered Prime Minister a surveillance lifeline that may be worth in excess in the first year alone of $400 million. I've never seen anything like it. The Greens will make sure that if it's shotgunned through the House of Representatives, which appears to be Mr Turnbull's intention, you'd have to ask yourself how many people who have proclaimed to have concerns about the bill will actually have had time to even read these amendments, let alone get their heads around how it will affect the bill. And the fact remains that the amendments that were proposed by the Joint Committee were completely ineffective at dealing with the central concerns that have been raised by groups as diverse as the Law Council, Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance, and the combined views of the telecommunications industry. We're moving to entrench a system that says surveillance of ordinary people who aren't suspected of any crime should be indiscriminate, dragnet style, rather than proportionate and discriminate. And while Bill Shorten may think that he's claimed a win for journalists who will be subjected to a threshold of a warrant process, obviously nobody's had time to read the amendments yet, but it leaves an additional 23 million innocent Australians exposed to out-of-control warrantless surveillance. And that central issue wasn't even dealt with by the Parliamentary Joint Committee. So we're going to make sure that if this bill is shotgunned through the House of Representatives and comes to the Senate next week, that it will be closely argued, and that we're going to be asking backbench Labor and Liberal senators who have concerns to read the damn bill, read the amendments, and not simply take it on trust as Bill Shorten appears to have done.
With Labor's support, isn't it just a fait accompli?
Nothing in this building is a fait accompli. The fact is the government wanted this bill passed in December. They wanted it passed in the first summer sittings. It's been substantially delayed. They wanted it passed through the House of Representatives on Tuesday. We're yet to see the devil in the detail, and there may be many twists and turns in this yet. But it's not a good sign for any of us when Bill Shorten does a handshake deal with Tony Abbott to sell out our privacy.
In light of what the Communications Minister has told the House of Representatives, are you at least now satisfied that the government has done enough to protect the sources of journalists, if not the broader public?
Tim, have you had time to read these 30 pages of amendments? You don't have them. Isn't that interesting? Neither did a single person who voted for them a short time ago. So no, I'm not satisfied at all with the way this debate is progressing. It may be a band-aid, it may be a substantive improvement. We'll have to read it and find out, but unfortunately it doesn't address the privacy of 23 million other Australians.